the United States at a top level and the PRC at a top level sat down and had honest and mutual, respectful diplomacy over this issue, there would be no tensions like this. This would calm things down. Also, it would calm things down between Taiwan and the mainland across the straits, I should say, by pumping in arms, by raising rhetoric, by having U.S. politicians fly over to Taiwan, by having all sorts of outlandish statements made by U.S. congressmen and senators who do that for a living, thinking that somehow, I don't know what they're thinking. They're not thinking very much. This has raised the temperature very, very much, and it's extremely dangerous because it just takes a misstep by Taiwanese politicians or by American politicians to set off something that nobody could conceivably want. And unfortunately, this happens. This is what's happened in Ukraine. This is an open war that is ripping to that country to shreds right now that never had to happen at all.
Do you think, let me ask the question in this way, do you think the United States has an interest in seeing the two sides separated, seeing the two sides not reunified? Because that will definitely make China a stronger country, a stronger place, a stronger player, if you will.
I think in general, the United States is trying to put roadblocks in China's progress economically, technologically, and geopolitically, because China is a big, powerful country. It is a great civilization, and the United States has this pretension and presumption of dominance. So if you start out with the idea that you must be number one, not that you must be safe, but that you must be number one, then from the U.S. point of view, China's rise is an affront. It's a threat. Of course, it's no threat at all. It's seen in a different perspective. It's seen in the perspective of cooperation. It's seen in the perspective of working together to solve global problems. It's a benefit. It's not a threat. But if your goal is number one, then it is a threat. So at the core of all of this is a big U.S. anxiety. The big U.S. anxiety is the self-perception of the U.S. security state that it must predominate, that it must be number one. Starting from that, everything about China looks like a threat. If we started instead from the U.S. real interest in peace, security, cooperation, facing global challenges like climate change and so forth, we'd have a completely different perception. So it's as we were discussing earlier, when the Secretary of Defense of the United States says we must be the most powerful, it's already a lost cause in a way of security and safety, because if you define foreign policy as being predominant, you can't be safe and secure. If you define foreign policy as peace, cooperation, mutual security, respect for international law, then you can be safe and secure.
Well,